We don't talk about it being Irish music or Celtic music that much. It's just music, you know. You pick up an instrument and that's what comes out. It's just what we kind of grew up with and stuff like that, you know. So, you know, other people call it Irish music, but it's just music to us. One tune that I really liked growing up as a kid when I was first learning tunes was the Fox Hunter's Slip Jig. And I would often be riding on my bicycle with my concertina in the basket in front. It was kind of like my driving force at the time. It goes like this. It goes. But you get tunes like this in your head, and they're just there all the time, and it's your life force, you know, and that's what you go with. Come on in. Join the session.
This bar went bankrupt. The neighborhood bar went down, and I just kind of decided we had to save it.
Corey Walters from Baltimore.
I had to rename the place because it went bankrupt as Mike's Westview Cafe, doing business as Mike's Westview Cafe. So we named it the most common name of Irish pubs, the Harp. It was actually difficult for me to tell the family or friends of mine that we were not going to be able to call it what it was for the previous 70 years, named after that fellow right there, Mike. His great nephew and his nephew were friends of mine. I live on their farm, as a matter of fact. It's kind of hard to stand in the barn at 5:30 in the morning and go, guys, I got bad news. The old family business can't be called that anymore. That was hard. That was not a good morning for me. So we changed the theme and kept the bar. That's basically what we did. And part of it was the introduction of Irish session music. So sessions are really such a part of the Irish, you know, pub culture. In many places, especially in villages, the pub is the center of all the activity. We think of ourselves as the center of activity in North Amherst, and we pretty much are. Gary wandered in here on his way up to Shutesbury one day and, hey, can we play in the corner? I said, sure, do what you want. And his daughter was very, very accomplished. He himself was accomplished, a couple of his friends. And next thing you know, there's 6 or 7 of them here every Thursday going for it. Kind of neat that we have sessions. More than one, 2 different groups. A little unusual.
In Donegal, there's small pubs that are very welcoming, and it's very much like the Harp. Basically, the Harp is very unusual because you can go and there's really nobody in charge. You just play and people meld, and it's very communal.
We're an open session. The Harp has been a very welcoming place.
In an American session, in an open session like this one, all kinds of people come in and play. Some people who've never played the music before. Part of what we've tried to do here over the years is keep the session open because we're also interested in the community aspect of the music and bringing people together and letting them play.
I'm sure some of these folks found it difficult to be with me when I first started to play, just because I wasn't very good. But I think that I listened. That was the advice I got. Listen to the music and do no harm to the music. So that's my approach to the music in general. And before I had any idea what I was doing, I tried to just lay back and be in the background and listen and ask a lot of questions.
Quite often in sessions, they call them closed sessions, where they're very selective of who will sit down and play with them. You have to be pretty good in order to kind of get a seat at the table, if you will, or you have to kind of prove yourself by showing up several sessions, and eventually you kind of move your way into the circle.
There are closed sessions in the Valley where people are not invited to come in and play. And my experience, and I don't have a lot, but my experience in Ireland is that you come and you show up and you sit there a while and people see that you have an instrument and then they might invite you to come and play with them.
It's a true story. About 3 Thursdays ago, sometime in early March, I'm standing outside the back door with Ralph, one of the session players on Thursday from Connecticut. Ralph is quite a character and very adept on a few instruments. We're standing there and a woman rides by on a bicycle with a fiddle case. So I said, "Excuse me, do you know what this place is?" And she said, "No." And Ralph said,
"Hey, that's a fiddle." But it's not a fiddle.
And he goes, "You should come in here and play." Then he promptly started to scare her up. I said, "Let me talk to this person." So I said, "There's a traditional music session in here. If you like that sort of thing, why don't you come in some afternoon and sit in and watch what they're doing, and if you feel comfortable and adept, jump in." She's like, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." Then Ralph went at it again, and I said, "I'm walking away." The next week, she was sitting in the session. She's been here every week for 3 weeks. She's just riding down the street on a bicycle. That doesn't happen in a closed session. Certainly because it's an open session. I certainly believe that lead sessions become closed circumstances.
The music is very cross-generational, so kids always start dancing and moving around when they hear the music. I guess all music is kind of intergenerational, but somehow this is different.
We get obviously young and old, and there's little kids running around. It's multi-generational, like a true Irish pub should be.
What's special about the music is that it's really participative. That people are engaged with it. It's not a performance. Everybody comes and plays and participates, and some people sing. I mean, it's a little bit. It's very different in Ireland because when somebody sings in Ireland, everybody shuts up and listens. That's not the way it is here. You know, unfortunately in some ways, but the music makes room for everybody to be part of it. It's really different from anything else I've participated in.
Every week I learn something different. I'm always picking up new tunes. I bring tunes with me that I picked up maybe during the week. To me, it's a great way of sharing our music knowledge with some of the folks that are playing here tonight. You know, some of the people that are looking to get into it.
The session kind of brings everybody together, you know, on a Thursday. It brings, you know, people are up for it, they get into it, you know, and it's kind of the background glue right now, what's holding this together.
And will you be back?
Yeah.